Every second, the sun showers the Earth with more energy than humanity could ever use in a single year. The challenge has always been, how do we capture that energy and turn it into something useful? Over the past 2 centuries, scientists and engineers have been chasing that question. And the result is the solar panels that we see today on rooftops, in fields, and even in outer space. In 2025, there are 2 main types of solar panels that you guys might be looking at. The one-sided standard regular solar panels and the bifacial solar panels, which is our favorite. But is one actually better than the other? And is it worth it for you to maybe upgrade? To understand, we need to take it back, way back. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. As you guys know, we don't only exist to give you honest feedback on products and save you money where we can, we also want to make it simple for you guys to gain energy independence without needing an electrical degree. You can support the channel for free by subscribing, or you can watch over some of our other videos to help you learn. Also, check out our reviews when it's time for you guys to start thinking about getting yourself into portable power or solar. So, the story of solar power begins in 1839. French physicist Alexander Edmond Becquerel, or however you say it, discovered what's now called the photovoltaic effect. In a simple experiment, he noted that certain materials produce small electrical currents when exposed to light. At the time, this was just a scientific curiosity. No one could imagine a practical way to power homes or factories with it. But fast forward to 1873, when Willoughby Smith discovered that selenium, a chemical element, was sensitive to light. A few years later, in 1876, William Adams and Richard Day built the very first selenium solar cell. It wasn't efficient at all, less than 1% efficiency, but it proved that sunlight could be directly converted into electricity. Then came a breakthrough in 1954. Bell Labs in New Jersey developed the first practical silicon solar cell. It was a game changer. Suddenly, solar power could actually run electrical devices. But there was a catch. It was extremely expensive, costing hundreds of dollars per watt. Compare that to today, where solar power costs just a fraction of a dollar per watt. Despite the high cost, solar cells found an early home. In space, in 1858, the Vanguard satellite used solar panels to power its systems, proving that solar energy was reliable even in the harsh environment of space. And back on Earth, solar remained a niche until the oil crisis of the 1970s. With rising fuel costs, governments and researchers invested heavily into renewable energy. This period sparked massive improvements in panel efficiency and manufacturing. Over the next few decades, solar slowly transitioned from powering satellites to powering homes, businesses, and entire cities, and allowing everyday regular citizens to become less reliant on the grid. Today, solar panels are one of the fastest growing energy technologies in the world, with billions of panels installed worldwide. But not all solar panels are created equal. While they all work on the same principle, capturing sunlight and then converting it into electricity, the materials and designs vary. So let's break it down for you guys to the 3 most common types that you'll encounter today. Up first, we have monocrystalline panels. These are made from a single pure crystal of silicon. Because the crystal structure is uniform, electrons move more freely, making these panels the most efficient types available, often over 20% efficiency. They also perform better in lower light conditions and tend to last the longest. The downside though, they're more expensive to produce, which is why they're usually in places where space is limited, like rooftops. Next, we have polycrystalline panels. These are made by melting together many fragments of silicon. The process is cheaper, but the mixed crystal structure makes them slightly less efficient, typically around 15 to 17%. They also have a speckled blue appearance compared to the sleek black of monocrystalline panels. Still, their lower cost makes them a very popular choice for residential and commercial solar. Finally, we have thin film panels. Instead of using silicon wafers, these use ultra-thin layers of materials like aluminum, cadmium, telluride, or amorphous silicon. Thin film panels are lightweight, flexible, and can even be integrated into building materials like windows or roofing shingles. But their drawback is efficiency, usually between 10 to 12%. And they tend to degrade faster over time. But in certain applications, such as portable chargers, building facades, or large-scale projects where space isn't a limitation, they're an excellent option. Now let's take a closer look at a newer innovation. bifacial solar panels. Traditional solar panels, known as monofacial panels, only collect sunlight from the front side, the side facing the sun. But bifacial panels are designed differently. They're made with transparent materials, usually glass, on both the front and the back. This allows them to capture light not only from the sun directly, but also from sunlight that reflects off the ground or surrounding surfaces. Now, the concept isn't entirely new. The very first bifacial solar cell was developed back in 1966 by Japanese scientist Hiroshi Goetzberger, if I'm saying that right. By the 2010s, bifacial solar panels finally started to break into the mainstream market. So you might be wondering, how does this bifacial panel even work? Bifacial cells are different. Instead of a solid aluminum back contact, they use a transparent or grid-like contact. This lets light pass through the silicon wafer and get absorbed from both sides. And that means that photons hitting the back can still knock electrons loose, just like the front. In other words, the cell itself is double-sided. To protect those two active sides, bifacial panels are built with glass on the front and the back, instead of the usual glass and plastic. So it's not two panels stuck together, it's one specifically designed solar cell that works from both directions, giving you more energy depending on what's underneath of the panel. And the result, up to 10 to 30% more electricity generation compared to traditional panels, depending on where they're installed. Well, they cost more up front, the higher energy yield and longer lifespan often make them more cost-effective over the long run. Here at the lab, we love bifacial panels. We find that they produce the extra power that we're looking for. This summer, we installed a massive Chico ground mount and filled it with bifacial panels that we use to generate power for our studio and testing. They have also proven to be very durable, as we've actually tested. A full speed pitch of an apple directly at a panel is probably going to be a little bit harder than most hail that we're ever going to see. And you can clearly see that these panels don't care. We've beat on it all day and there's no damage. Here in colder climates, we obviously have darker months, but because we have those bifacial panels, with all the light that's hitting that white snow, we're actually getting a lot more power delivered to our panels than we would have seen if we just used the monofacial ones. So from the first scientific discoveries in the 1800s, to powering satellites in the space race, to rooftops, and now advanced bifacial designs, solar panels have come a long way. As efficiency continues to rise and costs keep falling, solar panels will play a critical role in building a cleaner, more sustainable future. But let's be real here. The real reason why we're getting this is to have energy independence from the grid. And if you're trying to gain that energy independence, we would say you're probably best off getting the bifacial panels. But let us know what you guys think. Have you bought them and tried them out? Comment down below, give us a subscribe, it's the free way to help us out, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, peace out and stay charged.